Welcome, wrestling fans. You got the show here, Big Slam Wrestling. We're here to talk about War of the Worlds, pay-per-view, Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling meeting together once again. Last week it was in the far north of Canada. This week we are in the confines of New York City, the legendary Hammerstein Ballroom. Crowd from the opening gate was off the goddamn chain. I'm talking about an intense crowd that was just happy as all shit to be there. And these are pure, just hard driving, heart charging fans. And they help make a great show into an even greater show, because when it comes to a wrestling card, and especially a pay-per-view or a television episode, the crowd's energy level helps make or break a show. And the crowd here, while they were not perfect when it came to knowing all the Japanese talent and where their spots and their big moves were and maybe exactly who they were, and held some slight grudges against some former TNA and WWE fans, irregardless, they were into this match. They blew the Canadians away from last weekend. And it just goes to show, in the prototypical, stereotypical, independent Ring of Honor, New York City fans, these guys were it. We open up with the entrance music of one AJ Styles, the phenomenal one, the IWGP heavyweight champion of the world, the return of the conquering hero to the shores of the United States of America, where his former company of Total Nonstop Action, the big boys in Stamford, Connecticut, WWE, were not interested in signing AJ. Ring of Honor was willing to bring back an old, illustrious veteran from their alumni roster. And upon traveling across the country in various independent shows, I got to catch him at CZW. He put on a fantastic match with Drew Gulak. He's been tearing it up all over the United States. Got himself into New Japan, accepted that Bullet Club invite, and upon Prince Devitt's departure, AJ Styles has become the de facto leader of the Bullet Club in New Japan. And like he said here tonight, it's not so much leaders of the group, that everybody is an equal member and everybody leads, nobody follows. The crowd popped massively. AJ got the mic, and just before he could even get two words out, the chants of TNA, fuck TNA, fuck TNA, fuck TNA went on. They went into some vulgar diatribes against Dixie Carter, which, I'm not going to go into here, uncalled for, but to be expected, as these are two diametrically opposed wrestling promotions and fans for the most part. They are arch nemesis, the Ring of Honor fans and TNA. It's just that way, and it's never going to change. It's going to be that way, do or die, forever. And the crowd just continued to be insane. Next up, we had Okada's music hit. Okada and Chaos member Ghetto came out to a huge pop, began talking in Japanese to AJ Styles. He doesn't know what he's saying. Calls Machine Gun over and says, "Carl, you've been over in Japan for 7 years. What is this guy jib-jabbering about? I don't understand what he's saying." He said, "AJ, it sounds to me like he's saying that he could take that title, and he wants to take the title from you tonight." AJ says, "You know what? I got Bullet Club business tonight. I have a World Championship match already lined up with Unbreakable Michael Elgin. I've already beaten you. Get in line. And with that, the Unbreakable One, Michael Elgin's music hits. He comes out to the ring and continues to go on with the type of comments he made last week that he's been hitting up on Twitter and the social media, that he was expecting to face Okada in New York City. He was not looking at seeing AJ Styles across the ring from him, and what he wants now is for this to become a triple threat match for the world title. Calls out Nigel McGuinness. Nigel comes out. Now, being that this is not a Ring of Honor title, this is the IWGP title, he sits across and talks with the head of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Then he makes the announcement and tells him that New Japan has agreed that this match can take place. He says, Okada, are you good? Okada agrees. Michael Elgin, obviously you're good with this, but I'm going to have to ask you again, are you positive you're good for this for a three-way match? He agrees. AJ Styles, you are the IWGP champion. It is the champion's prerogative. You already have a contract signed for a one-on-one match. Are you willing to do the three-way match? They huddle up, the Bullet Club and AJ, back and forth, looking around, boom, boom, stick it back, looking, back, what's it going to be? AJ comes back and says, the game is on, triple threat tonight, main event. Bullet Club is down for it. Too sweet! And we have a new main event for War of the Worlds. Now, I have a little question here for you fans, and I want you to leave your comments down below as always. And my question for you is this. Who is the worst color commentator in pro wrestling today here in the United States? Is it A, Taz, B, Steve Corino, or C, JBL? And I'll even slash in there, I'll add one more and say Jerry Lawler. But primarily, I think this is a neck-and-neck run between Steve Corino and Taz. In my opinion, I've already had my war of the words with Taz multiple times on Twitter. He and I do not see eye to eye and do not get along. I haven't jumped up in Steve Corino's shit, but I'm getting there because his announcing is pretty piss poor as far as the show is concerned. Now, what we have up here next is our first match of the evening, which was the type of match I love to see on a pay-per-view that gets the juices flowing and the crowd hyped up and pumped. And it was one of the greatest tag teams out there in the business today. One of my favorites. They are in the top 10. I'm talking about Rocky Romero, Alex Kozlov, Forever Hooligans, tagging up with that New Japan 3-year rookie Watanabe from last week's pay-per-view, going up against Matt Tavern, Tommaso Ciampa, and ACH. This had all the kind of high spots, insane bumps and moves and high-flying action that you would expect. Forever Hooligans is a tag team that, in my opinion, does not get the respect that they deserve. They're kind of falling in between the cracks amongst your bad influences against your Young Bucks and your Time Splitters and the like, but they are there and they are awesome, and I believe they need to be signed. I would love to see them in TNA nonstop action. I think they would be a perfect fit, and we could get a nice feud going between the Wolves and the Forever Hooligans, and you can get the Hooligans on the map and let the American and the entire Western world see how great this tag team truly is. Now, I digress on all that. And we'll get down to this. This got a 3 out of 5 stars match. ACH hit a huge Air Jordan over the top rope. And they call this Air Jordan for a reason, because the guy's got a hang time and a height that he does to crash down on his opponents on the floor that is unbelievable and has to be seen to be believed. And tonight was no different. He was up there so high for so long, I didn't think he was ever coming down. Crash and burn indeed. Although he did not get the pinfall, Matt Tavern got in there and hit his modified DDT upon Wanatani. 1, 2, 3, and the winners, Matt Tavern, ACH, and Tommaso Ciampa. Our next match, we had Chaos members Gato and Jado. And we're talking against, in case those who are unfamiliar with New Japan, these are two old heads, veterans, if you will, well into their 40s. They've been doing this for a long time, and they are hard as nails, stiff. They don't move around quite as fast as they used to, but they will stomp a mud hole in your ass and beat you down hard like you owe them money. They went up against the decade of Roderick Strong and BJ Whitner as the de facto tag members of the evening, with the zombie princess himself, Jimmy Jacobs, in their corner. This was a good match. Top to bottom, I have no problems with any part of this match. I give this 3 out of 5 stars. It was good. It was not great. I have nothing really great to say about BJ Whitmer. Jimmy Jacobs really didn't get involved, which was a plus. You already know my feelings on the New Japan guys. I love them. And as far as Roddy Strong, again, on paper, the kid is fantastic. He's got all the moves. He's been in the business since he was like 15, 16 years old. He can do it all. The only thing he can't do is ooze charisma, because he's got nothing. He does not have that so-called it factor. And it hurts in matches and interviews where this guy could get over so much better. What he really needs is a mouthpiece. Now there's word on that he also possibly maybe making his way down to NXT or to TNA. He has done matches for both, and both companies are looking at him. I believe he needs to have a good manager and or work as a tag team partner with somebody else who's got the gift of the gab to get him over. Next up, at the end of this match, before I forget to tell you who won it, Roddy indeed pinned Ghetto, destroyed him pretty good, and that was that. Now, my fellow New Jersey brother from another mother, the mighty Jay Lethal from Elizabeth, New Jersey, defending the ROH TV title, going up against the greatest up-and-coming star in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm talking about none other than one half of the Time Splitters, Kushida. He is the future of New Japan Pro Wrestling, in my humble opinion. He has it all. He does it all. And there is nobody better, in my opinion. This guy is the cat's pajamas, if you will. He's got it all. And this started off with him stealing Jay Lethal's moves and mocking him a little bit, and getting Lethal a little frustrated, but they went back and forth doing all kinds of insane moves. Everything you would expect, the somersaults and the backflips off the ropes, the over the tops, everything you could think of. They all hit each other's big moves. Truth Martini, who was with Jay Lethal, got thrown out before he got a chance to actually intercede in behalf of his protege in this match, which was good. So we just had it one-on-one. Jay Lethal hit him with a lethal combo and followed it up with a out of the blue lethal injection to a 1-2-3 pin, and your Ring of Honor television champion remains Jay Lethal. This was a 4 out of 5 star match. The one that you are a definite must see in this pay-per-view. Now what we had up here next, which was a little shocking to me, is the crowd was off and on throughout this show. They, of course, were really hot for their Ring of Honor guys, and they would pop for the New Japan, whether it was homegrown New Japan talent or if it was Guy Jeans from here in the West. But if they didn't really seem to know them or their movesets, they didn't know how to pop and go off and be loud and raucous when they needed to be. And I think we had a problem here with this being the Briscoe brothers, or Jay and Mark, going up against the IWGP Tag Team title holders, the Bullet Club, with Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. One, they're not used to seeing Carl Anderson in the ring because Carl wrestles in Japan primarily. And Gallows has 2 strikes against him as far as Ring of Honor fans are. 1, he wrestled for the WWE. 2, he wrestled for TNA. So right away he's got a black eye as far as the fans are concerned. But by the end of this match, he proved once and for all that his 6'8" frame and monster moves proved to them that this guy is no slouch in the ring, and he is a worthy replacement to Giant Bernard, Tensai, if you will, with Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows and Carl. I am waiting for them to have their big breakthrough match. They haven't had it yet. They've been close, but they haven't had that be-all, end-all match of the night, match of the year type of thing. But I'm expecting it, and when they hit it, it's going to be nasty. People are going to get hurt. Records are going to be broken, and instant classic heroes are going to be made in that match. What was shocking here is that TNA has no hold, WWE has no hold on the Briscoe brothers, Jay and Mark. They are Ring of Honor originals, yet the crowd didn't just seem to be backing them boys up from South Fork, Delaware, to where they should have been. And they were hitting them with all their redneck kung fu and every move in the book. And this was a knockdown, drag-out, slobber knocker of a fight. I mean, these guys laid it on the line, tore this ring up, and due to the fact that the crowd was somewhat dead throughout this, I think lowered my ratings of the match. And it went from what I expected to be a 4 out of 5. I took it down to a 3.5 out of 5 because everybody seemed to tone it down a bit as that crowd just wasn't feeding into all the excellence that they were putting out on the ring, which was a damn shame. Now, where we have next was finally we got a dream match out of this New Japan Ring of Honor collaboration. It was, unfortunately for me, a non-title match. It was for the IWGP Intercontinental title. Talking Nakamura going up against Mr. Wrestling Kevin Steen in a intense, out of control, great match where these guys went back and forth, near fall after near fall, hitting each other with everything they had, power bombs to the ring aprons, you name it. They did it all. All the primary signatures and finisher moves were done. They had quite a few near falls that had me believing that the match was over. But we did wind up with Nakamura hit Steen with a match. Steen popped up on that, was like, "You're going to have to kill me, take me out with this." And he hit him again one more time with that knee, and he took Steen out, and it was over. 1, 2, 3. Nakamura leaves the ring. Kevin Steen gets a hold of the mic and begins to cut a promo, and the crowd already starts with, "Please don't go, please don't go," because whether you know it or not, I'm going to grab myself a cup of Joe here. Whether you know it or not, Kevin Steen, the rumor on the street is signed with NXT. And he will be appearing down at Full Sail University somewhere in the month of June or July. And he'd already made it plain and clear on Twitter that this will be the last time that the city of New York will be seeing him in a Ring of Honor arena. He went on to talk about his family, his newborn child, his wife, how he's been unhappy in Ring of Honor over the past year, and how things haven't been perfect, etc., etc. When all of a sudden, the last real man, Silas Young's music hit. Silas came out to interrupt, telling him that, he is a real man, and that he considered Steen the only other real man in the Ring of Honor locker room. That they had a lady man, Adam Cole was the world champion, that they got 2 little boys holding the tag titles that look like they belong on a Disney show. And he even hit, I can't recall what it was, but some kind of derogatory comment about Jay Lethal as a TV champion. And he said, "Yet you're going on, and you're coming across to me like a real pussy." Well, with that, Kevin Steen said, "You got enough, I'm done." He goes through the ropes to leave, and he goes, "You know what, go ahead and leave, Steen. Go quit, go home with your little baby boy, and he can grow up and be a quitter just like his old man." And with that, Steen came back in that ring, and they went at it, tooth and nail. Security poured in. A boatload of security came in, and they split them apart. Silas Young got put down on the floor, and Kevin Steen went up and over, crash and burn, took out the entire security team on the floor. Silas Young dove out of the way unscathed, took off up the rampway. They didn't show it on the TV, but according to fans there, he did a package pile driver on one of the security guys, knocking that dude out cold. And this led us up into the intermission. Now, upon the return to wrestling action, we had turned out to be the weakest match, the only bad match of the night, which was Tanahashi up against the Prodigy Mike Bennett with Maria Kanellis. And this is 2 weeks in a row that Michael Bennett has let me down. I've been a Michael Bennett fan since he first came in, whether it was with the horrible manager of Bad Bob that he was saddled with in the beginning. And I still think potential is all over him, but for some reason, he needs somebody to book him properly, to get him on the right path. He needs to have some kind of elder statesman or veteran, if this was WWE, I would say if he could get a Ric Flair in his corner telling him how to be and what to do and to be shown, or a Triple H, that type of thing. It's what Michael Bennett needs. This match I gave 2 out of 5 stars because they bored the shit out of me and the Hammerstein Ballroom. We're talking bear hugs and wrist locks and just typical kind of back in the day house show, I don't want to be here match. And as that show was, as that match was beginning to tank, and the crowd was letting it be known that they were not holding up to the hype that the two of them were spouting on Twitter throughout the week about how they were going to tear it down. They didn't make any alteration to the match. It continued on. Tanahashi hits it with his finisher, gets the win. 1, 2, 3 again. 2 out of 5. Worst match of the night. The only bad match on this card. Now to go to the complete 180 to the greatest match on this card. Possibly one of the greatest matches of the year, not just in Ring of Honor, but in pro wrestling, period. Talking about the Ring of Honor tag team titles being defended by Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks, going up against Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, with an MMA guy by the name of Tom Lawler in their corner. Why? I do not know, other than O'Reilly's MMA past, and that still got that Davey Richards thing in his head, trying to be part of MMA. Red Dragon, and this match was off the charts. If you want to show a match to anybody to understand what it is you love about pro wrestling, why do you watch something that's prearranged or, quote unquote fake, etc., this would be a prime candidate of a match for you to open up the TV to and say, take a gander and watch these boys work. This is pure supernatural magic. These guys, speaking of the Young Bucks, have done moves in this match and others that cannot be explained by words. They only can be witnessed by the eyes. And this match was just uncallable. You just had to sit back, keep your mouth shut, and just watch it and have your mind blown. It was fantastic. 5-star match without a doubt. Young Bucks, Matt Jackson got put into an armbar by O'Reilly, who had him actually tap out. Your new Ring of Honor tag team title holders, Red Dragon. This was kind of to be expected, as you can't have the Young Bucks, who travel worldwide and are in Japan quite a lot, being able to defend that Ring of Honor title over here in the States enough to hold on to it. Next up, we had the legendary Jushin Thunder Liger up against one Adam Cole for the Ring of Honor title. 4 out of 5-star match. It almost was going to be a 5 out of 5, but the ending was a bit abrupt. It was everything you expected it to be, and maybe more so, because we're talking Thunder Liger is almost 50 years old. When he had his match back in the day in WCW debuting against Brian Pillman, Adam Cole wasn't even thought of yet. And that's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it there. Thunder Liger did all kinds of huge hits and moves in this for a guy his age and his physicality. And they took it to the limit, and it came very close. And I would have really loved to have seen Thunder Liger take the Ring of Honor title back to Japan, even if it was just for a month, just to have that shock value for Ring of Honor and for New Japan. But alas, that's not what happened on this. Adam Cole hit Thunder Liger with a figure 4 earlier in the evening, working over that leg really good. And here at the end, he hit him with a quick super kick and able to got him into the figure 4 one last time. And he couldn't get to the ropes, and he tapped out. And your winner, and continuing to be the Ring of Honor's world champion, Adam Cole. And Adam Cole refused to shake hands with Liger, cementing the fact that he is still a douchebag and a bad guy and a heel and nowhere near being a face. Now we have our main event upcoming next, the triple threat match between the unbreakable Michael Elgin, former IWGP champion, the Rainmaker Okada, going up against the phenomenal AJ Styles in a 4.8 out of 5 match star. It just almost was perfect, but just missing it by a hair, and I couldn't justify giving it 5. It was a great match. All 3 guys hit with every move they've ever had. Everybody got their spots in. Ring psychology was fantastic. This was a definite how to do a triple threat match, and it was perfect in so many ways. I loved it. Okada hit the Rainmaker on Elgin. Styles came in and knocked him out of the way. Put Elgin up in the Styles Clash. 1, 2, 3. Your IWGP World Champion remains the phenomenal one, AJ Styles of the Bullet Club, without interference by the club, which was nice to see. And we're setting up possibly here for Elgin for going over to New Japan, getting involved in some of the tournaments over there, looking to get involved with where I think he would fit in rather well with quite a few of the New Japan guys. Looking forward to see how that works out. I believe they're kind of building up possibly a Japan tour with Elgin. We already seen the Briscoes leading up to going over. I could see Jay Lethal making it over there. Steen would have been, but with him leaving, that's obviously not going to be the case. And this match just culminated the awesomeness of this card. This blew away the Canadian pay-per-view last week. This is so good of a card that I will be buying the DVD and adding it to my collection for sure, because I want to see everything that went on and the extras and everything involved, and just to be able to watch this any damn time I please. And with that, that's all I got to say for this. Join me, my compadres from the Can-Am Wrestling Show, Big Ray of the Big Ray Show here in New York City, Andre Corbeil up north in Canada, Saturday nights, 8 p.m., Can-Am Wrestling Show. Bill Schuyler back in the day talking about great matches from wrestling's past. Don't miss it. The revolution is now. I will see you guys down the road.